Hey everyone, my name's Eric. I'm the guy that shoots and edits these videos here at BattleGoat. I just wanted to let you know that Galactic Ruler is currently 25% off on the Steam Winter Sale, along with all of our other titles. So if you'd like to pick something up to play over the holidays, or maybe you forgot a gift, I'm watching you, Timmy, then this is a great chance to get some great games at a great price. Happy holidays and enjoy the video.
Welcome back for our next Galactic Ruler GRQ, or questions and answers, and we are following up on some of the questions we received from our community on the Steam forums and BG forums and Discord. And we have, following up some of the discussion of trade and lore and tech that we had in the last one, we have a question from Join My Group. Doesn't say which group he'd like us to join, but just his group. Join my group. Technology levels for different planets. Will the technology tree be spread out for different colony types, different planets, different races?
Yeah, so I'll talk about the technology tree in just a minute. Let's talk about the lore a little bit, because I've hinted at it in a few of the videos. So the context that we wanted to create for this game is that every one of the races that you can play as have, until recently, in the storyline, been planet-bound races who maybe were getting up to orbital level, but there was this higher level race that was keeping everyone stuck relatively to their own planets. They had some sort of robot servants who acted as merchants between the planets to move some goods around. And the idea is that you find yourself as this race suddenly having access to space. This high-level race is just not there anymore. We hope that it creates a bit of this sense of, oh, I can finally explore. I was held back. Now I can do things. It also does create this context where we intentionally want the races to start, at least in a sandbox style, in a base game, that every one of the races starts at about the same position. The game engine, once we get all of the event system that existed in the Supreme Ruler series to function again in the broader context of systems and galaxies, we're going to have the potential to create scenarios and stories and campaigns. And there still is some question about how far we'll go with that. And I think that's where you'd be more likely to have somebody say, oh, I want to try that situation where I'm coming from behind, I'm an underdog, or somebody looking for, oh, I want an easier gameplay, give me a bit of a boost over everybody else. So the intention is that the base game, when you start new, generate, that yes, every one of the races would begin pretty much on equal footing. I suppose one difference that starts to drift towards some tech tree plans is that we are still working on putting in an atmosphere system for the game so that the planets you want to colonize will have a specific atmosphere. And if you don't have the technology to access that atmosphere, you can't you can't colonize that. We do want a variety of alien races, enough that some races would have a different starting atmosphere, so that might, but that's a very narrow difference between them. Other than something flavor specific like that, the intention is for generally equal footing on the races.
And in fact, related to that, R2 Galagosk asks, are some races in development or are they unlocked? Missing a few races. Is this just early access?
Yeah, so right now in early access, there's 8 races to choose from. At release, we intend the game to have 15, so that you can do multiplayer up to 15 people, and just to have more of that variety. And some of those races that haven't come out yet is because, as I said, we're still working on things like the different atmosphere types. The tech tree is another thing. I'll want to stay on that for a little bit longer, because in the first week of early access, lots of parts of the game were in progress, but we noticed that the community seemed really concerned about the tech tree being still in progress. So over the last week and a half, we've done a bit of a push to do the next pass. It was always intended, we just moved it up in priority. So there's some new texts have been added, we've cleaned up some of the flow, we started into the descriptions, and then a lot of the work was done for us. A quick shout out to XB Walker, a member of our community, who kindly offered to write out descriptions from very basic 1 or 2 words I might have had. In some cases, all we had was titles, and he very quickly showed a creative flair, offered us descriptions, and I've simply reviewed them with him, and so help from the community can be really beneficial. We've got a lot of new text in there, and we will continue fleshing that out, but the tech tree is something that you can dig into a little bit deeper in the early access now.
And the last question we have actually relates to some of what we were talking about here about the planet types and the tech tree, which is about terraforming. And this gets into terraforming, atmospheres. We've touched a little bit about it in some of our other questions, but this is an area that we know is underdeveloped right now. And we are really working on a lot of other parts of the engine. But the whole question of atmospheres, which race can live or work in which atmosphere, which planet, and how you can deal with that. That has a lot of interacting pieces because it interacts with the planets, it interacts with the tech tree, and it interacts with the factions themselves. And so we know we have work to do there to make that more interesting, and it is something you will be seeing a lot more work on.
Yeah. So thanks for all your questions. We do intend to keep doing more of these videos, so keep sending those questions in. If you're posting them on something like the Discord channel where the conversations go pretty fast, please make sure to leave that hashtag GRQ. Also, don't hesitate to leave the questions directly on our BG forums, because sometimes as we're developing, we see the question come up and we have time to answer them right there. And the BG forums has, for, I was going to say years, but really decades, been the central point of discussion for features for all the games that we're developing. And we've had the good fortune of having a very strong, very interactive community that's given us some great input over the years. So check us out on social media, check out any of the other videos if you haven't caught them already, and let us know what else you want to know about. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
This week, we would like to acknowledge Infinitum Gamer, another streamer who's been making some really nice videos of Galactic Ruler and helping get us some feedback so that we understand what the community is looking for us to develop with the game. Remember that by giving us a little bit of feedback on what you hope to see out of the game, you could qualify to be nominated as our Community Member of the Week and get some cool swag from us. So check out the game if you haven't already, join us on Discord, all the social media, and let us know what you think.